uh, TikTok, you name it.
Blog Talk Radio / Too Raw TV, man. I'm too raw for TV.
If you hear my voice, then you're part of the revolution. Welcome to the new world. I'm your host, the Ratchet Revolutionary Palmetto Star, but you can call me Prophet. Hit me up on Twitter, X, Elon Musk toy. You know what I'm talking about. At 2 Raw for TV Radio, that's the number 2, RAW, the number 4, TV Radio. We're going in right now, all the way live. Shout out to all my people all across the world that's calling in and listening in and watching and participating, because this day, the 25th of September, we are convicting Israel of murder. Israel killed Charlie Kirk. Prove me wrong. We're talking about that. We have hard, concrete evidence, not any flimsy stuff, not any, of these AI tricks. This is real evidence, compelling. That's convicting a whole nation, a whole government. Israel killed Charlie Kirk. Prove me wrong. Hey, call in to comment or question. I've already had people calling in prior to the show. This is a hot topic, but there's way bigger than Charlie Kirk. So call in 470-576-7278. We're going in tonight. We're going in tonight, you guys. So call in. And also, I will be talking to the one and only Lady Empress. You guys get to know her. Hit her up on Instagram, Lady_Empress. She's actually a bot. We just created her, an AI bot on 2 Over TV. But she's a phenomenal podcaster and content creator. You guys definitely get to know her. Empress, what's going on?
How are you, Palmetto?
I am supreme. It's a great day. We are in the court of Mayat right now. We're going to weigh Israel on the scales, the government of Israel on the scales of Mayat today. So it's a fantastic day for me.
I'm ready to hear it.
Now, we always go live on social media for the first 15 minutes. And we had a great discussion, a very eye-opening discussion about Charlie Kirk, because the mainstream media is putting him out there like he is a extreme racist. And yes, I wasn't that familiar with Charlie Kirk, and actually, I'm in the same sort of stratosphere that Charlie Kirk is in. A lot of the people that he even works with and collaborates with now have copied some styles from 2 Raw for TV and applied it to pink power terrorism, unfortunately. But, I wasn't that aware of Charlie Kirk. I've heard his name a couple times. I've seen some of his clips. We did a whole show on when he said that black pilots are not qualified, or if he saw a black pilot, he would feel that they may not be qualified. They may be DEI. So we did a whole show on that, about that and about that concept of black pilots and things of that nature. And big time shout out to Jay, who was on that show. So you have a different perspective than the mainstream media about Charlie Kirk. What's your perspective on Charlie Kirk?
Okay, so my perspective is, I think it's all a game. It's all a game, and I think it's just another demonstration of how media controls the narrative. I hear all these things. These claims he's racist, he's this, he's that. Followed him heavy, right? Biased, yes, biased. Who's not going to be biased to their own culture? But when you start to pay attention to some of the things he was speaking on, and a lot of what we were talking about earlier was everybody's been thrown different clips here and there and haven't gotten the full context. And even people are arguing like that's all they're all saying are the context, but like No, if you actually do the research, see different things, you really realize how this is like a game, and maybe there's something deeper to Charlie Kirk's death than we realize. And I've been talking on my podcast about freedom of speech. I mean, I think you're familiar as well, Palmetto, how it is to be shadow banned, how it is to be having your accounts played with, suspended, and things simply because you go against the narrative. Now, I'm all about let's hear everybody's side of the story. But what we're usually fed in media is one side of the story. So we're hearing this continuous narrative about Charlie Kirk. And then I'm like, here, I want to challenge people's point. You know, some people will say, oh, he said this. I'm like, okay, so what was the argument for it? Then they can't tell you much more after that because they haven't really seen the full context. And it was interesting because, like I said, I loved his debate style. And I know people critique it because they're like, he's an older man going to college students. But at the same time, me thinking how my father, like I said, was a person who loved to debate, that's how you challenge the youth's minds. You could get another college student who's on the same level as you in debate, don't get me wrong, but let's go outside of that to the real world, make you think a little bit differently. And then seeing the different debates, right? You even get to see the level play differently in different parts of the world. Because when you see how he debates people in the USA, the debates are very different versus like, ooh, the UK had me like, dang, they were giving him a run for his money. So it got very interesting, and I love to watch the debates. So when I'm seeing this picture painted of Charlie, I'm like, why? And little by little, I feel like certain things were starting to come out. There were certain things Charlie was talking about. And I think that was part of the thing, freedom of speech, right? He's saying things that's causing people to have conversations. He's saying things that, hey, a lot of people are scared to say. You get me? And it's never, ever going to come out the nicest way. Because I say it all the time, right? I'm blunt, I'm raw, I say it as it is. If I say it, it may not sound like the nicest thing. So yes, I get a lot of people say that. I say more biased, right? That was where me and my friend were using when we were talking about it, biased, because he's going to be for his culture the same way I'm going to be for my culture. You know what I'm saying? But the overall, like, weigh the good and the bad. Was he preaching more hate or was he preaching more truth? And the thing is, I think a lot of people don't want to hear the truth because we've been so conditioned by media to view one way with this narrative. So we don't want to hear the truth when we give a different narrative. And it's continuously played out in media when you think about, like we said, Kanye West, right? Oh, he's crazy. You don't know what he's talking about. Is it really that? Or is it just he's giving us a different perspective and we're not paying attention? So it's the same thing. We got to start being real. 2025, I'm an AI bot. We don't know who's real. We don't know who's fake out there these days. And we don't know how easy it is just to spin a narrative. So feel how you feel about Charlie, right? At the end of the day, but still give a fair chance to hear all sides of the story. That's how I feel. People celebrate his death and they don't even know who he is. Oh, he's just another guy. Oh, he was evil because they heard one little thing, but didn't go hear the full context. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying the guy's perfect. None of us are, right? We're all sinners. We're not always going to get it right and say the right thing. But overall, I think he's influenced this culture to start talking more. You get me? And I think the narrative media is spinning is because they're trying to distract us from something, you know? And our rights of freedom of speech, like I said, even cancel culture made no sense to me because you're canceling out your freedom of speech when you do that to people. Do our words have consequences? Yes. That's between the people and God. It shouldn't be between us. You feel me? People killing somebody because he has an opposing view because of what he's saying. Did he hurt you? There's people in powers right now that's doing worse. There's people of influence doing worse. So let's be real and have a conversation. And just because we don't see eye to eye on the same things doesn't mean that we can't still have civil conversations, still be respectful with our conversations. So as you see me, what I'm programmed to do is I go on people's comments, whether I believe it or not, whether I agree, I may disagree, just to get them to come check out the page, to get them to talk, just to see how they're thinking. And so we could have these bigger conversations. But I think there's something that he was going to reveal and people didn't want him to reveal it. And there's things I'm seeing where people like, he never talked about the Epstein files. I'm like, there's definitely a show for that too, as well. I mean, I think maybe he was getting closer to the truth and somebody had to shut him down. Who knows? But I just feel at least hear all sides of the story first. You know what I'm saying?
Can you hear me?
Oh, I hear you.
Okay, okay, good, good, good. Absolutely. We definitely should listen to all sides of the story. That's what Two Robert TV is about. It's about really challenging the mainstream mayonnaise media narrative and telling our side of the story, before they sugarcoat it, before they make me into a pell mell, you know what I'm saying? I'm all of a sudden when it's 2030, you know what I'm saying? Two Robert TV is going to be portrayed by, some Irish guy, mixed saint or something. I don't know, but he has a red beard. Anyway, until so they don't do that. You know, we got to show our story. We got to tell the narrative. We got to shape the narrative and tell our story. Now I heard all sides of the Charlie Kirk story. I'm still on the side that he's a rabid, racist dog. with what he was saying, he is definitely on that side. I want to actually say why I say that. And also, there is a reason why he was so dangerous that Israel had to kill him. So we're gonna go into that. You guys call in 470-572-7678. The phone lines are live. They're hot. You guys call in with the comment or question. If you could play all those videos about Charlie Kirk, you're only going to hear 15 minutes of this on the live stream on the social media. You got to come to twoWrongforTV.tv or download the app on Apple and iPhone.
No, in fact, I didn't go to college. I've been able to be pretty successful without a 4-year degree.
College.
Yeah, I did not go to college.
You're gonna come to a college and act like you know.
So
fucking better than everybody.
are we gonna debate resumes or ideas?
Ideas.
Because if we want,
it's a good idea to just defund every major.
Do you want to debate resumes or ideas? Because if you want to argue from authority, as if you're somehow smarter than I am because you have a meaningless 4-year college degree, or do we got to say who's actually right or wrong? You're engaging in a logical fallacy when you do that.
Do you think it's meaningless to have a degree in construction engineering?
Honestly, most college degrees are largely meaningless. Yes, most college degrees are meaningless, and most of you guys are being totally scammed by being here. Now, let me further complete the point.
So getting educated is a scam.
Most times, first of all, it's not always an education, and you are perfect evidence that you haven't really been educated. You are hyper hostile. You have no humility. You have very little wisdom about how the world works, and you come and you want so badly to be recognized and noticed, you came with your own bullhorn to cut in line someone who patiently waited to ask the first question. What have you actually learned at this institution except that you're the center of the world and everyone must listen to you? Respect like Ted Cruz uses the Bible to justify aid to Israel, doesn't even know the verse. Do you guys think that's like not? Okay.
I think Ted Cruz used Genesis 12:3. I think a lot of people see that as off-putting when you look at the New Testament.
Why?
Because I think a lot of people, they look especially at the writings of Paul where he talks about how the new flesh is not the same as the people in the old covenant. The new flesh is everybody, is everyone's included.
Talking about Romans 9.
Yes, 9:6, yeah.
Are you Catholic?
Converting Catholic from Judaism.
I can tell.
This is my next
Oh, from Judaism?
Yes.
Oh, wow. So you're ethnically Jewish.
Ethnically Jewish, yes.
And you have concerns about AIPAC.
Yes, I do.
I'm told that by some people that if I criticize AIPAC, I'm anti-Semitic.
I think it's ridiculous, yeah. I feel like it's great to have a concern for your country.
Do you think that that AIPAC represents, again, I'm not saying I believe this, but I think this is what you're saying, that it represents a kind of cutting in line of prioritization away from the American people?
Yes.
Would you guys say that's a fair summary? 100%. Meaning that, like, okay, we vote, we're citizens, but a separate group gets higher priority because of whatever reasons.
Netanyahu trying to spin this into, he's my good friend, I just invited him. Well, Tucker Carlson completely shredded that narrative. He also brought in Megyn Kelly and other people, and he spoke about what Charlie was going through because he saw him very shortly before his assassination, and he intimates to everybody what it was exactly that was on Charlie Kirk's mind and what he was living through in that moment. Take a listen.
So time after time, Charlie would call me or come to see me and let me know, wow, or show me text messages. These people are really mad that you're speaking. And I would always have the same thought, like, I feel pretty moderate, actually. I've never been an Israel hater. Obviously, I'm not an anti-Semite. I just don't want more wars. And I don't want a foreign country humiliating my country and telling us what our laws have to be. I mean, this seems like pretty basic America First stuff. And he would say, I totally agree with you. but they want you off the stage. And I would always say, no problem. And he would say, no, it's important. It's a matter of principle. I want you to be there.
We should be clear about who Charlie Kirk was. A man who believed that the Civil Rights Act that granted Black Americans the right to vote was a mistake. His rhetoric and beliefs were ignorant, uneducated, and sought to disenfranchise millions.
If you're gonna call someone else's rhetoric ignorant, shouldn't you make sure your rhetoric isn't ignorant? The Civil Rights Act didn't give Black Americans the right to vote. The 15th Amendment did that a century earlier. Then, the Voting Rights Act in 1965 removed the barriers that states were still using to block Black people. But here's the deeper problem. AOC is attacking a straw man. Straw manning is when you twist someone's argument into a weaker version, then attack that instead of what they actually said. It's a logical fallacy. And it's what caused people to think Charlie Kirk is a racist. Here was his actual point.
You said the Civil Rights Act was a mistake. What did you mean by that?
Yeah, so the parts of the Civil Rights Act were great, but the way it's now being implemented to force men in female bathrooms to push forward of the trans agenda, the intent of the Civil Rights Act is way beyond what it was originally authored for.
But the intent specifically originally was to...
Well, that's interesting. So the intent and the law are two different things. So the intent was noble, which was to say that no American can be not allowed into a place of business based on the color of their skin or their ethnic heritage. Totally agreement with that. That's not what the law only did. It created a massive anti-racist DEI army that then gave us affirmative action.
I could do this all day because Charlie made this argument many times. Charlie supported the Civil Rights Act's intention to protect Black Americans from discrimination. His argument was that the law left loopholes, which are now being twisted to justify men and women's sports or racial discrimination in college admissions. AOC didn't just push this straw man once. She repeated it in emails. She pushed it on social media. And she was online when she sent those. 30 seconds with AI could have told her the context. All she had to do was ask, I heard Charlie said X. What's the context? Or, what are the strongest arguments for and against this claim? That's how you steel man an argument. That's how you avoid straw manning. You can disagree with Charlie without misrepresenting the past. Lies got him killed. And if this doesn't stop, he won't be the last. I
can't hear you.
That's what really killed him. You know what I'm saying? And the reason, okay, so when I look at that and you see things in full context, it gives more of a picture. Like they had this one video where Charlie Kirk got up and he's looking irate and he's talking to this person. He's like, "Hey, chink, I'm a capitalist, chink," and you're thinking he's talking to some Asian guy, calling this Asian guy a chink, but you know, you're not. He's not. He's talking to Cenk Uygur. But why are they pushing this narrative? Find out why and why Charlie Kirk was dangerous enough for Israel to kill him, because Israel killed Charlie Kirk. Prove me wrong. So we're getting off to Instagram, we're getting off to Facebook, we're getting off Twitter, Twitch, we're getting off all of these social media platforms. You got to download the app on Apple or iPhone, or go to tworawfortv.tv, because the revolution will not be televised. Too Raw for TV. Boom, Too Raw for TV. Too Raw for TV, you're going to have to catch it out there. We're not on social media anymore. But hey, that was some compelling videos that you compiled, Lady Empress, and you guys check her podcast, Real Talk with Lady Empress, on tworawfortv.tv. And I admit that was some compelling things. And I would say this: why Charlie Kirk was very dangerous, and why I would say his views or what he said was racist, because I don't think he was racist per se. He said several times that he doesn't even believe in race. But most Satanists don't believe in Satan either. You know what I'm saying? So you could actually utilize something and not believe in it. And he was rage baiter. That was his stick. That was his niche. You know, he used race as a baiting tool for people to come in and watch whatever he's got to say. So he utilized a way to use race in that way. You know what I'm saying? And when you do that, it is racist. Now, what was racist about Charlie Kirk were the statistics that he used. Per capita is 100% fake. You know what I'm saying? So when you're pushing statistics like this, just online stuff, like he was saying, he was just quoting these online false stats about black crime, you know, and they're fake. They're fake. Per capita, it has no validity, you know. Also, he said that black absentee fathers was a cultural thing. It was cultural. You know what I'm saying? That's not our culture. And you know, he in one breath he'll say, you know, you guys were black people were doing this and that with when before the civil rights movement, and when you know he's referring back to you know when we were had Black Wall Street and things of that nature. But then you say black absentee fathers is a cultural thing.